Hey everyone. God, let me work. Let me work.
Oh man, I feel like the color is different on this time.
Yeah, I messed with the color a little bit. What's going on, guys? What's up, Theo?
Hi, Dan.
Welcome, everyone.
If you would have heard Mike trying to test the mic, I was like, well, the cat's giving you an audio test.
Yeah, I was getting plenty of audio tests.
Because he was just like, meh.
Buddy, over here.
Thanks.
Over here. There you go. Thank you. Welcome to Books and Brew. I'm still getting used to the title. I like it. I'm still getting used to it. Look, we now have a strip going across this. That's new. We also have got two giant Critical Role puzzle things that are off frame.
Yeah, I think you put that in the.
It took us 3 months to finish that.
That shirt belongs in a museum.
Oh. Is it bad that I read that in Harrison Ford's voice? That shirt belongs in a museum.
What is with you? You were like, didn't give a shit about us until like we sat on this couch and then all of a sudden.
Well, anyways, welcome to Books and Brew. We're going to continue reading some things from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, some subclasses, some really cool area event things that can now occur in your D&D world. I also created a few characters using the subclasses from here that can maybe pique your interest and maybe spark a little bit of creativity on character creation when you want to make a character.
Also, we got new dice from Cozy Gamer.
We did.
I think it's Cozy Gamer Dice. I'm sorry. I was gonna give her a shout out.
So I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be a clip. So get ready. So here it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, all right. Here it goes. Hey everyone, so I just want to announce to all of our followers, viewers, listeners, and what have you, thank you so much for being a part of this community, and as a part of this thank you, we want to go ahead and open a giveaway for everyone who is listening. We have a giveaway we're going to be running sometime after this stream, so more than likely after the clip has been made, I share it, the giveaway is going to be done. We currently have 2 shirts. This is going to be a long clip. We have 2 shirts. In our inventory, we have an outline of our logo as well as the actual colored logo. We'll be giving away 1 each to 2 lucky winners. So it's all going to be randomized, so I'm really excited. We'll have more details to follow. And that'll be the end of the clip. Hopefully we actually have time to fit it all in. If not, I'll export the video and make my own.
And I'm not selling out, Theo, you gremlin. We weren't sponsored by her in any way, shape, or form. She's actually a small Etsy store that I found, and I actually love her dice. So I ended up buying 3 sets, and some of them actually have little cats with paws or like a little witch hat. They're very cute.
So let's go ahead and pick. Let's go ahead and read from Tasha's.
Good luck with that.
I know. God.
Thanks.
So did you know when they wrote this book? Do you know who Tasha's is? Tasha from Tasha's.
Uh-huh.
Tasha is a...
I know Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Yeah, she is the creator of the spell, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And if those who don't know what that spell does, essentially you look at a creature, they have to fail, I believe, a charisma saving throw, and if they fail it, they spend 1 whole minute, which in D&D rules is like 6 rounds of combat. They have to spend...
Right, but I'm gonna go get the dice bag. You stay there and annoy your dad.
Yeah, they have to spend 1 whole minute laughing. They can't do anything. They're incapacitated, just they're laughing. So she's made that. So this character has a book now. It's how they're doing it. She's actually the adopted daughter of Baba Yaga. And if you don't know who Baba Yaga is, she actually does have some mythological significance. She is a famous hag.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yes. So
by accident.
So she has some, obviously some, magical abilities that she's gotten from her adopted mother. Throughout the book itself, I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are notes from Tasha's.
Oh, no, I didn't notice.
So she comments on every single subclass there is. So here, we can actually cover this subclass, which is pretty cool. The Druid Circle of Spores, which is really, really awesome. She notes, I'm an avid collector of spores, molds, and fungi. My most prized finding being a Sepias zagamata from the depths of Mount Zagan. I don't know. I'm reading made-up words here. I wouldn't want it steering a corpse around though and touching my stuff. So.
So it's a nice spore, but don't touch dead corpses with it. That's great.
So the whole idea between a Circle of the Spores is you're basically a necromancy druid.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you're using fungus and spores, almost like, have you ever seen, I think it's called like a zombie ant? Yeah. It's basically a zombie, like you're a druid of the zombie ant. You can place a little bit of a fungi on a creature and it magically start moving around and doing your bidding. The picture that they have here is a gnome druid of the spores picking mushrooms with his bullywog zombie companion. It's going to be hard to see.
Out of context, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, if you don't know what a bullywog is, it's basically a humanoid frog.
Pain in the ass.
So Circle of the Spores, they get some subclass-centric spells that some druids may not get. At second level, they get Chill Touch, which is actually pretty good. You can do some... Yeah, Jesus Christ! You can do some necrotic damage and prevent people from healing.
I have corpse hands, guys. I've always had them.
At third level, you get Blindness, Deafness. Does exactly what you think. And Gentle Repose, which I believe stops a corpse from decomposing for at least 10 days.
Yeah, I think that's for like you want to bring them back.
Yeah, if you want to keep your ally alive, but you don't have the components at the moment to bring him back. You want to do Gentle Repose. At fifth level, this is where you start getting really interesting. You get Animate Dead, obviously, because you're an ant zombie druid.
I'm getting a blanket because I'm cold.
You may have to unplug.
No, there's a blanket right here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we have things in this room, don't we? You also get Gaseous Form. So almost like you're throwing
my palm reader blanket.
Like a cloud worth of spores to disappear, which is awesome. Seventh level, you get Blight, which I think you're well aware is a very strong necromantic spell. Does some really high damage. And Confusion. Actually, that kind of fits mushroom, like almost like psychological mushrooms in a good way, you know, like Confusion.
I'm also glad you don't make me fucking roleplay that spell, to be honest, just because I feel like some DMs, if you're not like a necromantic class, like, and you take that spell, they're like, well, explain why and how you're using it. I'm like, well, I want to blast the guy that's trying to kill me to fucking bits. I'm not necromantic.
I have definitely asked you to describe, and this is a thing that I like to do. I've definitely described it. I remember I've asked Temple's character, Savannah, how does she do a firebolt? How does it look coming from this rogue dressed-like individual? And the way she described it was, I reach out to my palms, and from the center,
wasn't it like claws or something?
Yeah, and she was like, it comes out, and I go, okay, well, we could flavor it that almost like her mage hand, a secondary gaseous hand comes out, but starts to rush forward and fire. I've asked you how to describe how you do your spells. One big spell that I always ask all my players, especially if they're playing a cleric, is what does your spiritual weapon look like? Because there's always something tied to your person. At 9th level, you get Cloud Kill. That's pretty thematic for a spores druid.
Oh, the cat gave up.
You know, you throw down a cloud of spores, dust in the air, and it's gonna choke you in some way. And another spell you get at 9th level is Contagion.
You know that's like an actual thing, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly why they chose these spells, because it fits really well.
No, I mean, like, you could throw spores in the air and, like...
I understand. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Fucking die.
At 2nd level, you get some features that are specific to your Halo of Spores... your Circle of Spores. You get Halo of Spores, which I was trying to say. You are surrounded by invisible necrotic spores. They are harmless until you unleash it onto a creature nearby. When a creature you see starts to move into a space within 10 feet of yours and starts its turn there, so basically if anyone wants to get up in front of you, they're going to get hit by this. You can use your reaction to deal 1d4 necrotic damage to that creature until it succeeds a Constitution saving throw against your spell DC. And as far as I'm aware, this is constant. It only costs a reaction.
Yeah,
So,
I think there's a lot of less. There's a lot less spells or like effects that are actually timed.
yeah, so this one has it looks like it has no time frame. You're always constantly surrounded by these invisible spores, and the point damage 1d4 increases as you start to level up. It could go from 1d4 to 1d6 to 1d8 to 1d10, to 1d10. So basically, you have some free damage. If you're not using a reaction, you have some free damage.
I was like, what the hell is that
Oh,
noise?
it's music. In addition, you also have Symbiotic Entity. This is another thing you get second level. And as you're well aware, as you played plenty of druids.
I only played 2, and it's the same character, just different campaign. Oh wait, no, Iris was a druid.
Yeah, I was like, you played plenty of druids.
Yeah.
That second level druids, they get wild shape. So this actually has to deal with a little bit of your wild shaping. You gain the ability to channel your magic into spores. As an action, you can expend one of your wild shape usage to awaken these spores. Rather than transforming into a beast, you gain 4 temporary hit points for each level you are. So if you're a level 4 druid, you get 16 temporary hit points. So that's pretty good. It keeps on stacking.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then you get the following benefits. When you deal your Halo Spore damage, you get to re-roll that die. So instead of 1d4, 2d4.
Kind of like a superiority die, no?
A little. No, superiority die lets you do it a special effect.
Yeah.
This is more along the lines of once you've used up your wild shape, your spores are even beefier. But you get an additional ability. Your melee weapon attacks deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. So essentially, you spend a wild shape, and you just do more damage. It sounds like to me that the Circle of the Spores druid is someone who's going to get up in your face.
Pretty much.
Because they get a lot of benefits for being up in your face. If you're in their area, they'll make you cough and get necrotic damage. And when they hit you, they're going to do more.
Ah.
Beardy, Baldy!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the subscription, buddy. Oh my God, man.
This is way better than some dumb parody book my wife wants me to read.
Teach him all about how spores can kill you.
In real life and in D&D life.
Beardy, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Actually, it says here, since the last time we've been streaming, before we were doing D&D centric stuff, this 5 months. This 5 months. You kidding me? You already balled it with the 5 months. All right.
The Christmas gift.
It's a New Year's gift.
Yeah.
I love it. And if you didn't hear, Beardy, is that later on today, I'm going to release some details about a giveaway that we're going to have here. So I'm really excited to share that. So at 6th level for Circle of the Spores druid, you get Fungal Infestation.
That just sounds bad as a human.
It sounds but it sounds pretty rad, right?
Sounds like you're gonna have like a bad case of athlete's foot where your foot's just gonna fall off though.
Oh, that's a pretty thematic idea. Imagine your Circle of the Spores druid gets a final attack on one of the enemies, and your DM asks you, well, how do you want to do this? You're like, well, my spores start eating away at its flesh.
And his head falls off?
And it starts to rot, and just the parts of the body start to like slip off. Oh, that's so good. All right, Fungal Infestation. Your spores gain the ability to infest a corpse and animate it. Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
My thing is, like, does it look different, or is the flavor just
you
like
can flavor it
based off of you?
So it says here, if it's a beast or a humanoid that is small or medium, dies within 10 feet of you, you can use your reaction to animate it, causing it to stand up immediately with 1 HP.
And what's the game that Laura Bailey's in where like they got spore zombies?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. And it was like so popular.
Well, anyways, they get to use the zombie stat block. So whatever the zombie stat block is that what your animated corpse has. And it remains animated for 1 hour. Which afterwards then it collapses and dies. In combat, the zombie's turn comes immediately after yours, and it obeys your mental commands and only attacks if it can only use its attack action attacking one creature. You can use this feature an equal number of times to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all uses when you take a long rest. So essentially, since it uses your reaction, what you can do is, come on,
Thank
really,
you,
Theo? This is the best month ever. December's been our best month, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much, Theo.
You know why? Because it's the last of 2020.
Even Theo with the 5 months. I love it. Buy more dice. It's gonna happen.
Don't tell me that. This bag is heavy now.
We were playing a game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing a game on Tuesday, and Amber starts to dump all the dice.
I'm really sorry, guys. And then someone was like, psh, and I didn't think I got them all, and I was, psh. Well, let me show him the cat one.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to read on what it does. So essentially what you can do with this fungal infestation is to use a reaction. Someone dies in front of you, because you're going to be a melee person. You're going to be up in their face. You kill this person, as a reaction, come back up. And the person comes right back up, and you can do this a number of times. So you finish one person off, you look at another one, you kill them too. Now you have 2 people under your controls, and you can do this as many times as you want, up to your wisdom modifier. So you want to up your strength, you want to up your wisdom for this subclass, as far as I can tell.
Takes me a moment.
Yeah, you have to go through the...
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, she gave me 2 d6s. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, go ahead, show. I'll take a drink of my coffee.
It's a little cat on a moon. And then it has paws. But yeah.
So at 10th level, you get seeding spores, or spreading spores. Blech. You gain the ability to seed an area, that's why I got the seed, with a deadly spore, with deadly spores. As a bonus action, while your symbiotic entity feature is active, which one is that? Oh, that's when you use your wild shape. You can hurl spores up to 30 feet away, where they swirl in a 10-foot cube for 1 minute. The spores disperse early if you use this feature again, so you can throw them around.
Side note, Mike got me metal dice, and I'm afraid to roll them because I feel like it may take out a piece of the table.
When a creature moves into this cube or starts its turn there, it takes the halo spore damage. So basically your D4, or the 2D4, the 2D6, the 2D8, 2D10. It must succeed on a con save, and it can take this damage no more than once per turn, obviously.
My question is, do you think that would be like a chaotic character in the sense of like good or bad?
I have an idea for it's definitely going to be a chaotic neutral character, unless. So,
I mean, you could play it as like, what if you were just like, that's your defensive abilities?
I have 2 ideas for this character. I don't have it written down on paper, unfortunately, because it was something I read this and I was like, that'd be really fun, but I didn't really put it down to paper.
You don't need paper ideas, just pop into your damn head. And then I'm half awake at night and he's like, guess what I made? And I'm like...
So the last idea we have, or at least I have here, excuse me, that's a lot of coffee, is fungal body. You get this at 14th level.
Yeah, you do get an athlete's foot that might fall off.
The fungal spores in your body alter you.
Oh.
You can't be blinded, you can't be deafened, you can't be frightened or poisoned, and any critical hit against you counts as a normal hit, unless you're incapacitated. Holy shit.
That's like an ability? Or is it a spell?
This is a feature. You always have this.
Like at any level? Like
no,
level 1 or level?
At 14th level,
I didn't hear
you
that
gain
part.
this ability. You can't be poisoned, you can't be deafened, you can't be blinded, you can't be frightened, and all critical attacks on you are now normal. So essentially, you
fucking took the super soldier serum.
Essentially,
that's basically what you did.
You have heroes feast on you constantly.
Well, I get the not poison thing just because of what you are. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I mean, obviously you can make man-made poisons, but I mean, it kind of fits.
The mentality I have for this is that you can't blind a mushroom. You can't...
No, you can't.
You can't deafen a mushroom. You can't fear a mushroom. You can't poison a mushroom.
Yeah, but not like all...
I know, but you're sort of taking traits from all fungi kind.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty thematic that you can't. You're basically a creature of the fungus now. So the two ideas I had for this subclass.
Or you could play it like poison ivy.
That's true. Yeah. Just hit him with some kaboom. So one idea that I don't think anyone's ever thought about for this subclass, you could play Venom.
Oh yeah, you're telling me.
You can play Marvel's Venom. You have a symbiotic creature living within you. It does necrotic damage. It's always sort of moving around you, so when someone gets within 10 feet of you, a tendril can come out and lash instead of a spore. You can definitely flavor it that way. If you've ever played Marvel's Capcom or Marvel's Capcom 2, you can do a ground sort of tendrils of symbiotic goo coming out and then lashing within that 10 feet so you can get your seeding spore ability. I think in the Marvel Comics, Venom can sort of control someone using his symbiotic abilities. So you do have your fungal infestation, and you can say that when you hit 14th level and you're immune to all these things, it's just your symbiote taking over at this point that can't be affected. Say that your abilities came from a space monster and play as a fucking druid. It's the best.
Sorry, every time this cat jumps off of his perch, it's kind of funny because all you hear is this giant thud because he gained some weight recently. Hi, Chevis.
So yeah, just say that you touched a weird growth on a meteorite that fell. And your Venom. And your D&D Venom. It's the best.
It's not that bad, Theo, but he lost weight and then I think he found it again.
Yeah, he found it all right. What else do you get? Oh, by the way, I didn't say this, but I should be saying this. Theo, Beardy, since I know you just subscribed, thank you for becoming one of our lovely gems. That's what I'm going to call our community. They're little lovely arcane gems.
Our little gems.
Mm-hmm. Another idea I had, because you were like, well, what if they want to be good? You know? What if we want to be a good person?
Well, I always wanted to build Poison Ivy, but I don't know if I'd build her in this class.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a little difficult. The other idea I had was maybe a lizard folk individual who maybe lives like in a swamp or something, who's like familiar with like fungi and mushrooms, and the spirit of his terrain gave this ability to him. Yeah, obviously nothing's written down in stone. I don't have it all planned out. You want to go into some characters?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a random one at first. Oh, okay. Here we go. Meet Andrea, everyone.
She looks pissed.
So, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to go through these guys, but I do have the basic about this person. This is Andrea Whittleston, a human artificer, and took the Artiller subclass. So, really cool thing. Artificers were republished here in Tasha's, meaning that the entire class, not just subclasses, the entire class is here. And artificers are fairly new. Artificers are engineers. They're mechanics. They're blacksmiths. They're glass blowers. They're stonesmiths. They're mixologists. They're anyone who deals with crafting, creating, and sort of imbuing a bit of magical essence in that creation, which sort of reflects on their own class because they get to create magical weapons for free. They'll get a bag and they'll start to mess with it a little bit, put a little bit of arcane creativity in there, and all of a sudden you have a bag of holding.
Don't they make like patches for spells too, or stuff?
Not patches. You're thinking of, oh, I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of like the imbue magical item, imbue spell. So yeah, at higher levels, what artificers can do is that they can grab a mundane item, so we'll say a ring, and they can infuse a spell in that ring. And then they can give that ring to anyone they want. And they can use that spell up to a number of times. So let's say they infuse a invisibility spell. Spend one spell slot, they can get it back the next day, and it'll stay there until it's been used. So they can hand you a ring and you can cast invisibility on yourself. Let's say you're the rogue and you don't have the ability to do magic. Well, now you can be invisible, you know, and it's pretty good. So a lot of the artificer subclasses deal with a few things, you know, different things that have to deal with creation. There's the armorer subclass that whole idea is your creation is in a suit of armor. You can play as Iron Man. You can play as War Machine. That's essentially what it is. The next one is the artillerist. This is where you start to get into the idea of guns. You're a craftsman who learned how to mix black powder and you know, metal, and now you have an eldritch cannon.
That's cool. Don't mind the cat.
So you can literally throw it on a turret while you're shooting. So you can have two guns going off. So it's pretty fun. We actually had an artillerist in our past campaign.
Which one's who?
Janky.
Oh yeah.
Janky was an artillerist. He would throw down these little golden discs that when they would land, these little almost spider legs like would come out and it would walk around the battlefield with an eldritch cannon.
What were they? Oh, the turrets.
Yeah.
Arcane turret.
Another subclass is the battlesmith. These guys are more into building automatons, robots, helpers made out of metal and stone and wood and different other materials. So they actually get a little buddy, or a big buddy. You can actually start building them up that would walk with them. If you've ever seen Critical Role, that is what Taryon Darrington is that he's a battlesmith. He's made Doty. And the last but not least is the alchemist. These guys are more into making potions, making poisons, making buffs that give you the ability to fly a bit. Maybe give you like a constant guidance, like the guidance spell. That as long as you drank it, you can do it. They have a really cool ability.
As long as you drank it.
As long as you drank it. I'll constantly make. You can make that. That's the great thing about D&D is you can go. I make a giant stuffed teddy bear. What's the DM gonna say? No?
Dude, Teddy Rex been terrified of me as a child.
So, what Andrea is an artillerist. Once again, I don't have a lot of story behind her, but the idea that I had was that she came from a middle class family. Her father started off as just any other blacksmith who was trying to make his own within the kingdom.
Somebody's fallen.
Yeah. He then later started to create weapons for the army, and he actually started getting really good recognition from it. All of his weapons and armor was stable, clean, really well made, high craftsmanship, and he became, at least within the kingdom, considered a master craftsman. He then had a daughter, Andrea, who then took up that mantle and started making her own things, but she was more interested in the concept of the arcane. She would have been a wizard if it wasn't for her father. You know, so she imbues a little bit of magic with a little bit of craftsmanship, and she makes her own things, which is why I made her a artillerist. The turret idea I gave was that she has a little a metallic construct frog that she can throw into the battlefield, and it would protrude these little like weapons, and because artillers can do temp health is what their turrets can do. They can do a fire, like a flamethrower or a gun, so it can shape its way into different things.
But they can have like magical effects cast on them, right? Or no?
Magical effects cast on them?
Like if you were fighting somebody and somebody wanted to use a spell on your thing.
Oh yeah, I mean you could target. You can definitely target the turret.
Well, what if it has to make a save? How the hell does that do?
It has its own stat block.
Yeah.
And its abilities get stronger as you get stronger. So, I think what it happens is that it has a baseline of like 10 across the board, and
it uses your modifier.
It uses your proficiency bonus. So once you hit like, I think like level like 5 or something, you have a proficiency bonus of 2 or 3, and then that means it would add to your.
Because I think when we tried it out in the old campaign, I don't think anybody really attacked it. Like they didn't attack it with like a magical spell. They just like with damage, pretty much.
Yeah, they would. Well, because at that point your main focus And that's the whole point of doing an artillerist, is that your main focus is the caster, not the gun.
Yeah.
Because the caster is usually stronger than the gun. It's just a sort of a bonus. So that's Andrea. Sadly, I don't have a full backstory, and I'm sorry for that. But I thought of this character, and I thought it would be really fun to have someone who would have been a wizard if it wasn't for their father, or someone influential, which you can do. You can say that maybe someone was really book smart, but was taught how to do glass blowing, and now all of their creations are made of glass, and when they're done, they shatter. It's a really fun idea. Another subclass that Tasha introduces is a beast barbarian. Beast barbarians are really cool. I was looking them up. Essentially, they get animal features on their body constantly. And the book says either you could flavor it that your parents had the lycanthrope disease, so maybe your parents were werewolves, or in this case, a wereshark. That was really fun. Or that maybe you have some arch druid furries. It's essentially furries. You're big, giant, angry furries because you're a barbarian, so you want to rage. You're an angry furry. Scaly. Well, it's either one. You can say that you're a. Wait,
He's not furry.
Is a shark a scaly?
No.
No.
They just have a skin that has these little like teeth on it. That's why it feels like sandpaper.
Find a word for that, Theo.
Yeah, sorry, man. I had to learn a shit ton about sharks in schools.
So, so there's different ways that you can say that your character has these animal features. Either, lycanthrope. You can say that.
But there's more of a reason why he looks like that. I think they just think he's a shark.
Yeah.
Which Mike has to explain
Shark
first.
or fish? So fishy. Yeah, sure. We'll call them fishies. Goddamn fishies. That, or that your lineage came from an archdruid, so someone who reached a high level plane of like druidom, or that you were given this ability or these animal features from a fey-like creature. For Din, which is his name, I have it. Din Oridin is his name. He is a triton, so he's not human. He actually he is supposed to look sort of a blue skin tone, a little fish-like, like a triton would. However, you can see that there's like more scales. The hair itself almost looks like a jellyfish a little bit. I couldn't find a creature who was half man, half shark, and I know I'm not going to do street shark. I know that's where everyone's brain's going, at least anyone who grew up in the 90s. So once again, I don't have a giant backstory for this guy, but the idea that I had was his clan, lives near an entrance to the Feywild. And his clan and the Feywild creatures have met an arrangement that if his clan, Din's clan, guards the entrance, make sure that no material creatures come in and no Feywild creatures go out, that keep everything locked up, then they will be granted a boon. And that boon is the ability to have bestial abilities that would help them in combat. So each member of their clan has to go into the Feywild, travel for the idea that essentially I got was 3 days, find this elusive Fey creature that they made the deal with, go through trials, and upon succession, they are given the boon. And so Din, obviously, I made him, I think I made him like a level 9 character, so he has experience, he's done this before, he's very, very widely, highly regarded within his community, and he's a little cocky, as you can see. I sort of found a creature or at least a picture of someone who had a little bit of fish quality to him, definitely a Triton, and a bit of a cocksure individual.
We got the other brother. This is the skinny one, unfortunately.
So, what can a beast barbarian do? They can do a few things, which is pretty awesome.
You have a unicorn in D&D.
D&D does have unicorns. They are assholes.
Rightfully so.
They see themselves as better than most.
So it's like the fucking Gravity Falls, like that version of a unicorn?
A little bit. Yeah, and they're definitely tricksters as well. So unicorns they can definitely be useful for spells.
Gravity
and
Falls is on Disney Plus. We watched it before that, but there's an episode where unicorns are like trying to be like how most people think unicorns are, like magical beings that have like flowing hair and blah blah blah, but they're really like fucking assholes.
Are unicorns playable? No, unfortunately they're not. I'm sure there's some homebrew that allows you to be a unicorn. Actually,
it could be like a minotaur, but unicorn.
Actually,
your butt's a unicorn butt.
I think Wizard of the Coast actually approved a My Little Pony 5e game, and you can play. And I know that there is unicorns in My Little Pony, so you can technically take that stat block and try it that way.
Unicorn top, human bottom.
Hello, ladies. Going up, 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 up.
What?
Yes. I'm not kidding. It is literally what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not gonna knock anybody, but I'm just gonna say it. In personal opinion, bronies creep me out. You know, to each their own. As long as you're a nice person,
What about fishies?
I don't give a shit what you're into, but just know I think you're a little weird.
What about fishies?
Same cocks.
Okay.
As long as you're not an asshole.
So, what can a Barbarian of the Beast do? Path of the Beast. At 3rd level, they get Form of the Beast. When you enter your rage, you can transform, revealing your bestial powers within you. You manifest natural weapons that count as simple melee weapons to you. So they can basically get your strength modifier, and they can get some bonuses. So you can actually choose one of the following. You can choose Bite. Your teeth start to come out. You can have a muzzle if you wish, or mandibles. So if you actually want to maybe be a bug beast, like maybe you have like you're like a
Somebody's gonna clip that bullshit.
So in this case,
the internet. I gotta watch what I do now.
So essentially, you can. That's why I made a shark character, because maybe his mouth protrudes a bit and he has like almost like a street shark type of look. Buddy, I am reading from a book.
You know they don't care. He needs all the love. He has hyperthyroidism.
You can choose claws, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Your hands or your nails start to grow in size, and now you have animal-like claws. Or maybe you can have sort of like maybe you wanted to be like an octopus. Maybe you have like a really strong tentacle that can whip. I don't know. Be creative, guys. Don't do you could live within the rules.
That's the dice
be creative.
bag.
Or you can do a tail. Maybe you grow like a crocodile tail, which are fucking meaty and it can probably. I think crocodile tails, can they kill a man? I think they can.
I think so. Depends how hard they hit and where they hit.
Yeah. So think about that too. Is you can also create a tail. So maybe you have a scorpion tail.
What did we do tentacles for the last time? Because this is the second time I've seen this from Theo.
Oh, because we were doing the octopus. Oh no. We were doing the fathomless warlock.
Oh yeah.
You could do you could be a jellyfish
tentacle.
creature. You could be tentacle, something like that. It could be your tail too if you wanted to. So that's at your 3rd level. At 6th level, you get Bestial Soul. The fury power within you increases, causing your natural weapons, so weapons I just mentioned, they count them as magical now. So if anyone has resistance against any weapon except for magic, your hands now are magic. Or your butt. Or your teeth.
Why is it always butts? D&D? Okay, I'm not gonna knock anybody, but like we played 3 freaking campaigns. Mm-hmm. One for this channel, another one that's been going on for 5 years.
Oh yeah.
I think I've only been a part of it for going on 3. And
Magic, I'll allow it. It's a DM, I'll allow it.
And we're planning to fight a dragon, and one of our team members was like, why don't you stick the rod of, what is it?
Oh, immovable rod.
Immovable rod up the dragon's butt. And we were all like, what?
Or why don't we turn into a gaseous form and go up its butt? And I'm like, you're not, okay.
And the GM was like, well, the movable rod could hold 8,000 pounds. A fucking dragon, an ancient dragon, is heavier than that, so that's not gonna work. I don't know. I was just like, man, I guess the theme of D&D this week is butts.
So, for the Bestial Soul, your form can alter due to your surroundings, and you get to choose the following when you enter a rage. Oh, sorry. Nope. You can have these alterations of yourself without raging. You can gain a swimming speed equal to your walking speed, so now you can swim in underwater quickly. You can gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. So now you can do that, and you can climb on ceilings. You can turn into a spider if you wish. And you can, when you jump, you can add your strength modifier and add that to your check. So essentially, you have more of a jump. You're maybe a cricket, I don't know, depending on what you want to be.
You want to be Jiminy?
Or you can be a kangaroo. Maybe you're an Australian Goliath who's a barbarian, and you can be like, I'll go up this the bag, and then you fucking use your tail, and we'll say that's your feet. That can also kill a man, I think. Mm-hmm. Kangaroo. Speaking of barbarian, we have Dennis here. We're actually talking about a barbarian character I made, Dennis, that may be named after someone here that we know. His name is Din.
Nerds. Yes. I'm okay with this title.
Let me show Dennis the barbarian creature that I may or may have not named after Dennis. Meet Din. He is a Triton barbarian.
Yes, kitty.
In addition, you also get Infectious Fury. This is at 10th level. When you hit a creature with your natural weapons, so in Din's case, his teeth, because he would be part shark, he would have the abilities of the shark. When you hit a creature while you're raging, the beast within you can curse your target with a rabid fury.
Thanks.
It has to succeed a con save, and all the bonuses are here in the book. The target can use its reaction to attack a melee creature of your choice.
Thanks. Don't drink the coffee.
So imagine you're a barbarian, and you are fighting. You're in a group of 5 people.
Sorry, I read Dennis's comment.
Oh yeah. Wait, do you know where that's from?
No.
It's from Demolition Man. Come on. All right. So essentially, imagine you're a barbarian. You're running into a group of enemies, and you slash at one, or in this case, bite at one creature, and they become infectious. You can go use your reaction, attack your friend. They're gonna almost foam like
sea foam.
Almost, yeah, sea foam, or like rabies. Not sure if they're friends, and attack their friend because you told them to. And then while you're also attacking the creature that just got infected, they also take an additional 2d12 psychic damage. It's pretty good. The last thing that you get as a beast barbarian is Call the Hunt.
That's cool.
The beast within you grows so powerful that you can spread your infectious fury to others and gain resistance or resilience from joining your hunt.
Beauty, if you watch the regular group session we do on Saturdays, you're really gonna want Taco Bell. It's a were-shark.
Exactly, it is a were-shark. That's why I made it, because there's werewolves in D&D. There are actual werewolves, were-tigers, were-bears.
Everything.
But that's about it. And so I was like, well, F that. I want to were-shark. So what you can do with Call the Hunt is when you enter your rage, you can choose a number of creatures that are willing. You can see within 30 feet of you. And you all gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. And until the rage ends, you can use the following benefits. Each creature who you've chosen who is willing can deal an extra d6 of damage. Let's see here, and...
Is there a limit to how many creatures?
Up to your con mod.
I'm like, there's always limits.
But you're a barbarian. You want to up your con anyways.
If you're smart.
Yeah, because you can. The more you communicate with the deep. So that's my beast barbarian. I'm really proud. I'm really excited for him. Will I ever use him? I don't know. I have to flesh him out. That wasn't a pun. I didn't mean it. I actually really like this. This is the last created character I made.
Oh yeah.
An older woman. Something I wanted to go do a little off the cuff here. So I'm gonna go and find this.
All the puns. Here they come.
Here we go. So let me get her name real quick. She has a long one.
He told me the name.
Yeah. All right, here it is. Meet Sosan Tribble Quinny Soft Soul the Fourth. She does have a long title, and that's for good reason. First, she is very old. She's an older adventurer, but she's also a gnome, meaning that they can live up to 500 years old, so we can definitely say that this individual is probably about 400 something. She still has some good years in her. She is a bard of creation, which is a new subclass that Tasha gives us. A bard of creation, essentially, is they believe that the entire world has been created via a heart of creation, meaning that everything has its place, everything can be made. They're a little of an artificer, kind of, or at least they have the same mentality. So instead of giving like inspiration, which a normal bard can do, they can give a creative inspiration. So, let me go into the backstory a little bit, and then we'll talk about the abilities. So the way I have Sosan is she was once a noble. She inherited a large fortune from her father, who would keep her indoors basically her entire life. Since she was old, she never left the facility. They had a large mansion with a large expansive yard and like almost like a forest-like area that would go back. They would definitely have friends who would come into the mansion and, hang out, and they'd have parties, and they would have all these types of things, but she never actually left the compound. What she later found after her father died is the reason she wasn't unable to leave. And at that point, she was already older and she had kids, and her kids had grandkids, so she had a family. She had a large family that she loved very, very much. The reason why she couldn't leave, or at least her family could not leave, is they later found that her father made a deal with a hag. Who, the deal was, give me money, and out of my wealth, I will give you what I most cherish. Of course, the father, being an idiot, made this deal very open-worded, ended, and essentially what that means is if the hag was going to come back and claim his family. But the reason why they couldn't leave is that through some of the centuries that the father was alive, he built arcane protection around the facility to protect anyone inside the compound. So the hag couldn't get in. He beat her until he died. Then the deal shifted to the next person who inherited the wealth, which was Sosan. She was the oldest. She had to watch this hag take away her entire family. She had no say in the matter, so she's accustomed to high living life, but she was disgusted later finding out how her father got it. And so now she is a beggar. She is an older woman who begs on the street. The way I had it is that creation bards can get little inanimate objects and imbue a little bit of creation in them, and they start to move. They can come alive, and they can be your little dancing objects. So she makes little wooden or twigs or clay or different little dolls, and she makes them after her family. She makes this her grandson, her granddaughter, her son, her sisters, this whole thing. Because whenever she feels lonely out in the streets, she imbues a little bit of creation so she can feel better. So I really like her. She's an older woman, obviously, and maybe one day I'll play her, but she is, I like, there's a little bit, and there's a bit of a reason for her to adventure. She wants to get maybe her family back. Maybe there's an option. She can work with the hag or maybe fight him.
Beardy.
Beardy has a new love, Miss Quinny. So what do creation bards do? They're pretty crazy. There's a lot to...
I imagine once you level up, you could, like, probably gets pretty nuts.
It's pretty nuts. So bardic creation bards get, instead of just their bardic inspiration, they get a mote of possibility. This is an ability. whenever they give bardic inspiration, they can give it to you or anyone else. This is how the bards work. When you use up your bardic inspiration, and the way that works is that, let's say you're gonna do an ability check, a saving throw, or an attack, you get to roll that bardic die. Something else happens. If you do an ability check and you use your bardic inspiration, a harmless colory sensor effect almost ushers out of you. So if you're trying to pick a lock and you succeed, a small flash of white will happen. Something harmless, nothing too crazy. Let's say you're gonna do an attack roll. Well, when you use your bardic inspiration, that creature you're attacking now must make a con save. And if it fails, whatever number you rolled on that bardic inspiration, it takes additional damage. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Now let's say you're gonna do a saving throw. When you use your bardic inspiration, if you, let's see here, regardless if you save or fail, you get temporary hit points based on the bardic die you roll. So whatever number you landed on. So let's say you roll a d6 and you roll a 3. Whether you save or fail on that saving throw, you get 3 temporary hit points. It's pretty good, and it's a free feature. At 3rd level, you also get a performance of creation. Does
that one have Tasha's note?
Oh, it does have a Tasha's note. What she writes is, one bard's song of creation is the source of another person's nightmare.
That was dark. All right.
So the idea is that you must find a small inanimate object that is worth less than a certain amount, and it has a chart here, a formula. So it has to be a cheap item, and you can put a glimmer of soft creativity inside of it, and it uses the dancing item stat block. And there is an actual creature that you can use. It's called a dancing item, and you can use it now. It is yours. And it starts to level up as you level up. Animating performance. Now, as an action, you can target a larger item or smaller. So large or small, which means I think 10 by 10.
Large or small. Okay.
A 10 by 10, I believe, is like 10 feet by 10 feet is considered a large item. So that or smaller at 6th level. That now uses your dancing item stat block, and it also gets some bonuses as well. Hey, D&D. So yes, and thank you so much for following. And I apologize if I butchered your name.
Can you phonetically spell your name?
Sayano. Sayano?
Apologies.
Sayano. Hopefully I got it right. I am so sorry if I didn't.
Or we could just call you Sai.
Sainino. 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 Oh, Sai. Saino. Saino.
All right.
All right. So what benefit does that give you? Well, a 10 by 10. Oh my God! Thank you so much for subbing. Thank you so much for becoming one of our precious little gems. Appreciate it. For the sub. My God, I need more coffee. That's what I'm gonna do.
I didn't tell you, but I had them add a shot of espresso in there.
What? Is that why I'm like sweating right now?
Mike has a very low caffeine tolerance, and I have a very high tolerance.
I'm gonna die.
No, it's only one. You normally have 2, but I don't tell you.
Oh my God!
Oh wow! Thank you.
Woo! 10 subs! My God, I am. Jesus Christ! We need like some music or some shit right here. Thank you so much. That is some Christmas. My God. That is some Christmas. That is some New Year's.
The love
fucking
is appreciated.
love right there. I cannot handle. Thank you so much, man. Saino.
I'm gonna call you Sai because I don't want to butcher it.
Saino. I'm gonna say your name like it was meant to be said. Now that I know how to say it, I'll say it one more time. Saino. Never gonna forget it.
Sai is perfectly fine. See, I got permission.
Okay. All right then. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. For anybody that's
honestly.
new, I mean, obviously, like Theo, Dennis, Beardy, they all are aware that we do group sessions every Saturday. The only reason we didn't have one last Saturday is because some of our group was on vacation with their family. So we'll be continuing session 7. No, session 8.
Session 8?
This
We're doing
Saturday.
Session 8 this Saturday. Where's the hot sauce? We don't do that anymore. But I greatly appreciate it. Hey, to everyone who's watching right now that we have some more bodies in chat, another recap of what I announced earlier in the stream is that we're going to be, and this is appropriate,
Giveaway.
we're going to have a giveaway. At the end of the stream, I'm going to go ahead and write out the details, but we have 2 different shirts in stock right now. We have an outline of our logo, and we also have a colored version of the logo with the actual name, Arcane Focus, and those 2, we're going to have 2 winners.
The duration of the giveaway to enter is a month?
I think so. I think that's what we're going to have. We're going to have it a month, and so we're going to pick 2 lucky winners,
At the end
and
of January.
each of you get to choose whether you want the outline or you want the color. So I will have the details after the stream. Don't forget to join the Discord. That's usually where I make a lot of the updates. I love the irony of the...
He used to do other streams too, so that's how he got that shirt. But
I worked very closely with Mixer. If you don't know, I used to do streams for Newegg. I still kind of do, but not behind the scenes now. We did a Mixer versus Newegg competition, and we won twice. And the first time they went ahead and gave us some swag, and this is one of them.
I think honestly, Mike just likes the shirt because it's comfortable.
It's a nice shirt. I kind of want more of these, but they don't make them anymore.
I know, Beardy. But now we have this channel. You can see Mike.
I know. I like
bug
doing...
Mike all the time.
Now I get to be more geeky than I already was. I love it. So, what's so good about animating a 10-foot thing? Well,
Hey, you know those giant ass skeletons that all the memes are? Of
Oh, that'd
Home
be
Depot?
awesome.
It'd be really funny to animate one of those.
oh, that'd be up. Measure. You're a bard of creation. You walk into Home Depot, and
I'm just gonna.
and you see a giant decorative.
I think it's 12 feet.
Fuck it, I'll allow it. I'm the dealer. Jesus Christ. All right, so at 14th level, you get creative crescendo. Crescendo?
I think it's crescendo.
When you use your performance creation feature, you can create more than one item at once. So more than one dancing item at once.
So we can do 2 skeletons?
You can do it an equal amount of times to your charisma modifier. So if you have a charisma modifier of 5, in other words, you have 20, you can have 5 dancing skeletons if you want.
You wanted that stupid thing. Mike was like, we're gonna put it on the roof. And we live in a small apartment complex, so there's not very many neighbors we have. And I was like, the one neighbor we do have, I'm just like, I don't think they're gonna appreciate if we put a 12-foot skeleton on our roof.
But that is So-san. That is the Bard of Creation. I'm really happy with her.
Google 12-foot skeleton at Home Depot. There's like a shit ton of memes. You'll see it.
So there's a few things introduced in Tasha's that I honestly think were a well-deserved entry.
If you guys join the Discord, I'll post a picture because we actually went into Home Depot back when going outside wasn't so horrible. And there's a picture of Mike that I took and he's just looking about it like this for a size comparison.
So one thing that they introduced in Tasha's is called, or at least what I can understand, is a area event. Maybe
instead of area effect, it's area event.
In a way, more like it's here. Actually, I could find the actual name for it.
You should show them the art in the book. That's pretty cool.
Let's see. Parlay with monsters. No. Martial roll. Environmental hazards. That is what it's called. So,
hey, there's unicorns.
There is unicorns. So environmental hazards is a new thing that they introduced, or at least they actually published it here in the book. And there's different types. I'll talk about one of the most interesting ones, or at least I have an idea for some of the environmental hazards that it's going to be in our campaign, so I'm not going to talk about those. But I'll talk about one thing.
Trying to get the fat cat.
imagine, if you will, is that different from traps? It absolutely is. So I'm gonna go ahead and describe a scenario. Imagine, if you will, a forest, an expansive forest that leads into waterfalls and dips and terrains and a lake space. This entire beautiful garden. You know, and due to some sort of psionic effect, like maybe a body of a dead mind flare is starting to rot in or was buried here and is now affecting a lot of the plant life and wildlife around it. Not in a bad way.
Oh, I was gonna say like a toxin?
But what's happening now is that any animal that spends a lot of time in here gets affected. So you can roll a d100 and you can actually have different effects that affect this entire environment. You can say that, you know, one random type of creature, so maybe all birds or all bears or all like
all unicorns,
something like that, now can talk.
Oh shit!
Telepathically. So they're almost like their mind has been awoken, and now they can talk to individuals via comment.
You know what would suck? If you did that to like bugs, and then every time you stepped on one, you heard it scream.
Don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas.
Like,
that's a really good.
And it was, ah! That's really fucked up. But I don't know. My brain just went there because I was like, what if you don't think about it? What if you're just like?
All right, let's talk about unicorns, because there actually is a unicorn option here. Here, I'll roll back. Here we go. The unicorn option that you're thinking of is a blessed environment. Maybe what happened is multiple gods chose a specific spot in a land that's next to like not only a wild land, but also maybe a city that has sort of inhabited the space. And because of there's so much divine claimage, claims in this space, that it's almost it's now infecting the entire area with different effects, which you can roll for. One of them, obviously, and this one here, and I'm going to try to find it.
Well, it shows in the picture.
Well, let me see if I could find a blessed Kiri shrine. I'll show it, but I'll pick a random effect. You can see here, in what looks like to be a mountain range, a bunch of unicorn fly around. So essentially what now may happen is that maybe random passerbys who go into this area, a random weapon that they've been using, anyone, even bandits, this can happen to, becomes magical.
That's great.
Oops. You don't know. It could be, you know, you can walk around and all of a sudden you bring out your bow and arrow, and then your bow is doing more damage and catching things on radiant fire. How is it happening? And you start to realize that you start to feel good in this space, and you don't know why.
Can you dismiss it? Or no?
It's random. It's the environment. The environment's doing this to you. Maybe what happens, this is a pretty good one. There are random like spires of radiant, like a geyser.
Are these rolled on random? Because I feel like I have scenarios where these things have happened.
These are random. Yeah, so you can roll a d100, and you can choose a random effect. Or if you're a DM and you actually have something specifically planned, you can just go, well, this happens in this area. So you can definitely do rolled. That'd be fun too, because that's a little more chaotic. But like this idea is that maybe randomly placed around the area with this entire terrain, it's affected by these radiant geysers. That if you get caught in them, you take what says here 3d6 radiant damage. So you'd be walking around.
So you got like fucking pressure cooked.
Yeah. You can be walking around, and then all of a sudden the ground underneath you starts to shake and
come out all beet red.
Oh shit!
Like a hot tub.
Holy fuck! They came out of nowhere. It can happen. So they have all these really cool examples for different effects. I'll find one more.
Why do I feel like, no offense, Temple, if you're watching, this is like some shit we would get into with Savannah in our group, because she likes to touch things and look at things that maybe you shouldn't look at, that look kind of like you shouldn't look at them in the first place. But that's just how her character is.
Oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. They also have what you can also place is a mimic colony.
No, she touches things. She literally said, Theo, anything that sparkles, she just wants to touch it. And generally in D&D, like 50-50, maybe like the thing is sparkling because it's good, or it's like fucking Indiana Jones, you remove it from the rock and then, you know, dead.
By the way, I apologize for Streamlabs, how it's constantly putting out our chatterbox message. That's meant for the main game. I forgot to turn it off. But yes, also a reminder for those who are interested, we do a main game every Saturday, like you mentioned before, at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Sometimes it's at 2:30, but that's only because one of our members loves us so much that she's working and then she has to come and do this. So gives her a little bit of breathing room.
They hold a small magical box called the Chatterbox. Whenever the players or the characters open the box, they get to hear the chat.
Mm-hmm. And that's how all the characters, or our group now wants to know what a Taco Bell is, because somebody in chat said
and it was
Taco Bell. And so every person we go up to in our game, it's like, do you know what a Taco Bell is?
Because someone in chat said Taco Bell, and I read it out loud, and now the characters in the game are like, what's a taco? I don't understand.
We know what a bell is, we don't know what a taco is.
So mimic colonies are really awesome.
There's mimic colonies?
That is a thing you can run into. That is a terrain you can go into. It's amazing.
Mimics are bad enough.
The idea of a mimic colony is that they now work with humanoids.
Yeah, it's probably to eat us.
They shape like furniture and houses.
Well, that looks like a dude inside somebody's mouth.
Yes.
I'm not gonna live in a mimic's mouth.
So that is literally what this does, is
Morning, Tummy.
The mimics now house these humanoids so that you can constantly feed them.
Where do you live? In a guy's mouth.
And because you're constantly feeding them, they won't attack the humans because they see you as a constant source of giving them food. You're feeding them.
Dude, that's a good idea, Dennis. Fucking mimic IKEA. That's how we see this now.
But it's really, these are really cool ideas. So a lot of elemental hazards that you can now put in D&D.
Show the art so they know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the mimic colony? Oh my god, yeah, I gotta show that art. Hold on.
I seen the teeth and I was like, yeah, that's a no-go for me.
Look at that! Are you kidding me? That looks flippin' amazing.
That top one, not to be rude, is either a plant or a trash can.
It's a plant. It's a hidden plant. That is, it's got his tongue out. Because, all right, so.
Theo, yeah, no.
By its nature, mimics don't want to show themselves. They mimic themselves into a chest and attack a willing creature who is unaware, because that's how they get their food. They're like a Venus flytrap. They'll snag you and eat you. So they don't want to right away.
Yeah, but what if they chew and you're inside? How do they eat?
By chewing you?
I don't want to be chewed if I live in there.
Oh, you're saying for the mimic colonies. No, that's why it's different. The mimic colonies, they have a symbiotic relationship.
But that doesn't answer my question of how they eat if you live in them.
You walk out of the house and you throw them a piece of steak. I don't know. Can you just toss your unwanted bones behind you? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe like toss and run though.
It looks like a magic card. I'm okay with this. I've seen a few magic card art. It looks pretty amazing. When you use a restroom today.
I already knew before you put that second freaking comment there where you were going.
You gotta feed the bears, man. There's also a magic mushroom environment you can go to.
Like a mushroom?
Oh, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You walk through this magic mushroom forest, and a random thing can happen to you.
This week on 1,000 Ways to Die.
You can regain 5d8 plus 20 hit points.
If you eat a mushroom?
If you walk around this mushroom.
Maybe you don't want to eat it, I don't know yet.
Or, the creature can only cluck and crow like a chicken for 1 hour.
That's like wild sorcerer magic. Like, you're fucked. Turn into a
This is amazing.
Potted
This
plant.
is the best thing ever. The creature can immediately cast Detect Thoughts. So
Wait,
imagine.
if you eat it?
No, it's just by being in the mushroom space.
Well, I want to know what happens if you eat it.
You can say it happens too. So imagine that. Imagine you're walking around in this mushroom forest and spores all around. You can see things in the dust, but you have to make your way across. And all of a sudden you start to hear your party members' thoughts. And you're like, why are you so fucking...
And that's an even more
No one's talking. No one's mouth's moving.
Version of Alice. I mean, maybe like the book version where you like, it was literally drugs.
Check this one out. The creature's skin turns an unusual color. Roll a d6, please. Oh, sorry. Roll a d4. On a 1, you have purple skin with yellow splotches.
Yeah.
On 2, you have a bright orange skin with tiger stripes, black.
You're a heffalump.
3, you have tree frog skin, like greenish, with red squiggles.
This all sounds like shit a kid drew.
Or 4, you have a hot pink skin with yellow spots. You turn to Barney.
I don't want any of this. I don't like any of these color combinations.
Ooh. If a random effect that can also happen is that a magical mist pours out of the creature's eyes and ears, acting as a fog cloud spell for 1 hour. Holy
creepy.
Shit. You're walking around.
Just open your mouth.
And then just like these things, and you're like, what's going and just the entire thing is covering, and you're just walking around.
Sounds like some
Holy
Warner
shit.
Brothers cartoon stuff. Do you have to update your character sheet for the color changes?
You're gonna need Photoshop at the handy. You gotta have that ready.
If that glows in blue, I'm good with it.
I'm sure as a DM you can also like enchant.
You could probably flavor it.
As a D4, you can increase that to a D6 because I don't think there was any blue options here. But
I don't like the squiggles and the spots. I'm cool with like maybe just a solid color.
Hey, you can't choose. Sometimes it's all about that's how D&D works.
I know. You like to kill us on the regular.
Mm-hmm. I'll go over one more because I don't want to reveal everything. See if I can find one more thing. Mm-hmm.
What if you're colorblind? Doesn't D&D ever respect the disability? Well, then it's just shades of gray that are a little bit different.
You're just sort of sitting at a tavern next to this forest.
I mean, you'll see the stripes. Like, you didn't have stripes before.
When did I get stripes?
I think the cat died. Oh, never mind. He bit Mike. He's alive. Roll 100 to see if you're colorblind.
So the other thing you can do.
Oh, there's a cat in that photo.
You can eat. It has random effects if you eat what they call a primal fruit.
That thing looks like one of them jackfruits.
So what the picture shows is a giant tree glowing in greenish arcane energy that starts to produce these sort of large light blue teal fruit. Upon eating it, you can gain this the following effects. So you can.
You tried to swat.
I saw. You can gain the. Hey, need my hand. You can gain the following effects. Random again.
You do this to him every time.
I know I do. The creature does not require food, drink, or sleep for 1d4 days. You're walking around. You eat this fruit. All of a sudden, you don't have to sleep.
I mean, that would be especially good if you're a human because, like, humans are like ones that actually need 8 hours.
Ooh, if you can eat this fruit, something else can happen.
We have the cat that never comes out.
Whispers intrude the creature's mind for 24 hours. You just start to hear random, like, the whispers of like the weave.
She never comes out, guys. Sorry. That's Kiki. She hates people.
She hates cameras.
And cameras.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't hate people. She's just very skittish, but she'll give you the meanest stink eye if you try and take a photo of her. She's always pissed off. 3rd time in the last 3 years I've seen her. Yeah. Yeah. She hates cameras. Not like these attention hoarders over here.
Let me see if I can find a good one. So I already talked about the Genie Warlock. I talked about the Fathomless Warlock. So we're getting down a few of these subclasses, which is good.
Just like that she's got.
Let's see here. Ooh. You know what? I don't like this subclass I'll talk about it, but I don't like it. So, as a sorcerer, the whole point of a sorcerer is that you're not a cleric. You didn't get your spells and your magic from a god. You're not a druid. You didn't gain your spells and magic from the world itself and nature. You're not a wizard. You didn't study for this shit. You're not a bard. You weren't imbued, or you didn't take place in terms of like creation magic. You're not an artificer. You didn't make your own shit. A sorcerer.
Somebody have a shit counter for so many times Mike just said it right now.
A sorcerer just has it. You're Harry Potter.
You just fucking blessed.
You didn't know. You're not even blessed.
No, Harry Potter, they have to read their spells too.
He was doing magic before they even got him in the school.
Well, what am I gonna say?
He's a sorcerer. He's not a wizard. That's how you make Harry. If you ever want to make Harry Potter and D&D, you start him off as a sorcerer, give him about maybe two levels in that, and then you switch over to wizard. Because then you start studying. He's in class. Harry, what you think? What you doing, Harry?
We like binge watched that series last weekend.
It's Potter. It's Harry Potter.
Stop insulting people with a British accent or a European accent.
So sorcerers get their magic from what they call the weave. The weave is just pure magic. It's what the universe is surrounded by. It's what it pulls from whenever someone does a spell. They are just imbued with this weave. What does it come from? Maybe your ancestors way down the line did it with a dragon.
It's called what?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, like, that's Dragonborn, no? Like,
nope.
You got a little bit of Dragonborn
No.
in you? No?
No. Because dragons can do polymorph on themselves. They can turn into humans.
Oh,
So maybe
I
a dragon
gotcha.
turned into a human
Yo, we pulled a Zeus.
and did it with a woman or a man, and
Why
all
are you
of a sudden.
pointing to me?
Oh, sorry. I was this is a random experience. I can't do this. I have a wall.
No.
And all of a sudden, your lineage comes from a dragon, and you can be a dragon-born sorcerer or a dragon sorcerer. So you can have like scales, and you can have something. You basically have scales. So yeah,
Is
scale.
that what Kellyanna was?
Yes.
But, like, she had more blood because she had, like, the
Yes.
arm and the... I think she had the tail, right?
Yep. In addition to that, you can also pick a wild sorcerer. This is where your magic comes directly from the weave, and you have no control of it.
And now that cat that hates cameras
If you cast a
is
spell and you roll a 1, something random will happen. You have no control. And there's different other sorcerers. One of the sorcerers is a clockwork sorcerer. Your magic comes from Mechanus. Who's Mechanus? He is basically he's not a god. He kind of is a god. It's weird. He's a very strong being from another world.
Like a high priestess thing?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got cat hair on me, guys. When do I not?
I guess he could be considered a god because he's beyond the planes. Throws for breaking down. Well, that's actually what Mechanus is. He's like
stop. A little bit of oil. Hold on, one moment.
he's like a robotic creature that deals in lawfulness. There is no chaos. There is no chaos in his realm. Everything 1 + 1 is 2.
Oh, like lawful good?
No.
No.
Lawful neutral. Think of it this way. They set a law that says if you hop on your right foot, your foot's gonna get cut off. That sounds pretty evil, right? But it's the law, so it's just gonna do it. It doesn't care. So that's the whole point of Mechanus, is it's all about balance. There can't be too much evil, there can't be too much good. And so as a clockwork soul sorcerer, that is sort of where your magic sort of bounces around. So as a clockwork sorcerer, you get a few spells. You get alarm. That kind of makes sense, you know. You get protection from good and evil. Kind of the balance. You get aid. It's helping yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
I think aid helps a group too, no?
You can help a group. Lesser restoration. So if someone's being afflicted by something, you go, no, it's too evil, remove. Dispel magic. Something's happening. Nope, nope, can't have that. It's all about canceling. This source was all about no. It's all about no. I don't like it. I don't want it. That's all they're about. Protection from evil. For protection from energy. I don't want it. Protection. Freedom of movement. Nope. Summon construct. You have one of your robot buddies. Greater restoration. No, but more. And then wall of force. Put a wall against you. Nope. They're the nope sorcerer. All right. So.
I feel like this person would be very tight.
Oh, I love him already. I hated this subclass, but now that I'm breaking it down, I'm loving it. I'll see. Let's see. At level 1, you get a feature called Restore Balance. Your connection with the plane, is absolute order and allows you to equalize chaos movements. When a creature you see within 60 feet of you is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can cancel it. So if someone's about to hit someone and they're blinded and they have to attack with disadvantage, you go, no, just roll natural. You should say no. Oh, about to hit you with advantage because they're about to do a surprise attack. No. No, I don't like that.
It'd be real fun to play with.
I fucking love this now. All right, at 6th level, you have to go through a few levels to get the next ability. You get Bastion of Law. You can tap into a grand equation of existence to imbue a creature with Shimmering Shield of Order. Jesus Christ, what was that sentence? As an action, you can spend 1 sorcerer points. That's sort of the benefit you get as a sorcerer. You get sorcerer points, and they do additional things, blah, blah, blah. You create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you. And so what the ward does, it is represented by a number of d8s equal to your sorcerer wisdom points that you spent. So if you spend 2, you have 2 d8s.
Somebody needs to explain sorcerer points to me because nobody knows how sorcerer points work.
Well, let me get into that. Let me finish this. See, the idea is that depending on how many sorcerer points you put into your ward, you get that many d8s. So
no, I don't mean ward. I just mean general.
I'll talk about it in just a second. So imagine you got hit with 20 points of damage. You can spend those d8s to reduce the amount of damage. Pretty good. Not bad.
Hey, Kenzie.
Hey, Kenzie! So what are sorcerer points?
Yeah, I mean, I get key points. That I understand. I don't get what the fuck sorcerer points are.
So you're actually not far off. Sorcerer points act somewhat similar to key points in a way. Your sorcerer points equal to your sorcerer level. So if you're a level 5 sorcerer, you have 5 sorcerer points. You then get a thing called meta magic. And you can choose a number of meta magics depending on your level. As you start to level up, you get more options. These meta magic abilities cost. They cost things. So you can cost 2 sorcerer points, 1 sorcerer point, things like that. And they do things for you. So imagine you're about to throw a fireball. And you spend 2 sorcerer points, and you can do a meta magic ability called Twin Spelled. Now instead of 1 fireball, you're throwing 2. Or you could do silent magic. A lot of magic, what it does is that it requires you to use a hand movement, say an arcane message, or you have to have a visual, contact. You have to see them. You could do silence. You can spend a sorcerer point, and you don't have to move your hands at all. You don't have to talk. You just look at someone, and the spell happens.
That's pretty cool.
So imagine you're tied up, and someone who has the counter spell is just waiting for you to move your hand. And once they see you trace that spell, they're gonna go, counter spell, fuck off. Well, in this version, you can go, fine, I won't cast a spell, and boom, nothing. Oh, I love our sensor caught it. Nothing happens. What if I'm into being tied up? Well, then that's your thing.
That's your business.
You know what? That's a pretty kinky sorcerer. I don't know if the clockwork sorcerer is for you then. Maybe. Who knows? So, that was Restore Balance. I'm sorry, that was the Bastion of Law. At 11th level, you get Trance of Order. You gain the ability to align your consciousness to the endless calculations of Mechanus. I'm putting some flavor into it. It's weird. As a bonus action, you can enter the state for 1 minute. For the duration, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage. Whether you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10. So essentially, no one can get advantage on you, and if you have to do a ability check, attack rolls, or basically any roll, if you do any roll, 9 or lowers don't count. You never get a natural 1 while you're in this.
Oh, this stuff. No, Mike uses it against us pretty well. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, this would ruin a DM's day. Because imagine a DM going, "You're gonna have to get rolled pretty high," you know.
And you're like, yeah, no.
You're like, yeah, exactly. No, because this is what the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer is it's a no, character. You go, okay, I enter the state, and I'm not gonna roll a natural 1 now, for 1 minute. I roll. Oh, you got a natural 1. Nah, that's a 10. So you could do this a number of times equal to your what's it called?
I feel that's why I said it. When Tasha's came out, I felt like they broke a lot of shit. But you got to remember that the DM has the same access to all that shit, just as you do. But it depends if he's gonna use it or not.
So this is the last ability you get as a Clockwork Sorcerer, and it's at 18th level.
Yeah, I was trying to read it.
You have to. That's 18 levels in Sorcerer. That's pretty high up there. You summon spirits of order.
Yeah, pretty much, Dennis.
To expunge disorder around you. As an action, you can summon the spirits within a 30-foot cube originating from you. The spirits look like Mardrons, which are little tiny robot creatures. The spirits are intangible, invulnerable, and they create the following effects. They can restore up to 100 hit points divided as you choose among other creatures within that cube. So if your party is within that 30-foot cube, you can go, you get 20 points, you get 50 points, you get 30 points. Everyone's healed. Any damaged objects entirely in that cube are repaired instantly. Maybe there's a rope that has been damaged and you can't hold it much longer because it's gonna block your entrance. Fixed. Each spell of 6th level or lower, hold on. Each spell of 6th level or lower ends on a creature and any objects within the cube. What the fuck?
I feel like a lot of people think D&D is intimidating because like when I first started playing, I thought so too. I was like, how am I gonna remember all that shit? And then like once you it starts becoming fluid, like once you actually use your character and its abilities, then it's just like second nature to you. It's just like when you get new shit though, then you gotta gotta read this now.
So if you ever want to say fuck you to the DM, play a Clockwork Sorcerer. Whatever you do to me, no. I say no. I don't want it. You can't do it. You can't make me. That's the entire Clockwork Sorcerer. I don't hate it, but I can't see it. I can't create a creature with it. I can't create a character with this. I can't think of anything.
I feel like maybe if you were somebody like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, how to stick up your butt, like somebody of like a figurehead that was just that way, like you didn't do anything out of their, like, I don't know, circle of safeness or whatever the fuck. Like anything out of order, no. Like maybe like a really pain in the butt professor or something.
You know what I would make, this is how I would play a Clockwork Sorcerer, is that if I had a party member who is kind of that asshole, there's a specific asshole in every D&D party that goes, I'm gonna steal from the party. Or I'm gonna cause a ruckus because I can, you know? Someone who like is intentionally causing drama within the party.
We all know that character.
You're like, okay, well, dear DM, I want to roll a new character because I think I have a better one. Roll a Clockwork Sorcerer, and every time they go, well, I'm gonna advantage, try to swipe your stuff. You go, no, no, we're not doing that. But I can. No, you can't.
You could try, but
my
it's not gonna work.
My abilities tell you no. So this would be good against any DM or any other troubling player.
And now we've released that information out in the world.
Do with it as you please. Am I missing anything else? We covered a lot of characters, which I like. Sorcerers we only dived into a little bit. It's the anti-bully card. It absolutely is. The power of no.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, speaking of order, we'll talk about this last subclass, and then we'll call it a day. And I'll go ahead and I'll repeat this now, since we still have some people here. Announcement to anyone who may have missed it. After this stream, I'm going to get to work on some assets and some information, but we're going to have a giveaway. We have 2 different types of shirt in our shop, and we're going to give away either or to 2 lucky winners. And we're gonna have the giveaway's gonna be for a month long. I'll have more details to follow, but essentially we're gonna pick 2 lucky winners, and you get to pick a shirt.
The cat stole something from underneath the couch and ran away.
So there is a specific cleric domain. Beardy Baldy, thank you so much for the 200 bits. Very much appreciated, buddy. My God. Hey, there's so much love this entire month. I can't. I'm not even sure what to do. You know, have we ever been loved this much?
I mean, like individually.
Individually.
It's a very big question.
So Tasha's notes on the cleric order of domain, the order domain. There is a cleric of the order. Her notes.
He's looking at me because I play a cleric, but I don't play a class from Tasha's. And then me and Mike both agreed that we didn't like what it was transformed into. So I play a Unity cleric from a different book.
You want to talk about that?
No, you can do this.
Okay. Well, because let's talk about let's talk about your cleric, about what it become. Let's talk about something else. I don't like the order cleric. Let's talk about the peace cleric.
I didn't want to be a hippie. I don't know why they did it like that. And not to knock the book, because stuff changes all the time. But I'd rather be the Unity cleric than, I don't know, that seems more hippie to me.
We delved deep into it. So when Wizards of the Coast first released the Unity cleric, it put it into like an open play test.
It's Unearth Arcana, isn't it?
That's what they call their open play test subclasses, is Unearth Arcana. And what they do is they allow players to mess with it, play with it, see if it's overpowered, maybe it's underpowered, things like that. And then they release it into a book, and they change things about it depending on what their player feedback was given.
It's not even called a Unity cleric anymore.
So it's not called a Unity cleric anymore, it's called a peace cleric. So essentially, what a peace cleric, it's a little mixture of what you are, but a little changed. So the first thing they get is they get the Implement a Peace ability, and that gives you proficiency in Insight, Performance, or Persuasion.
You gotta read the note.
Not bad. Oh, the note? It says here, from Tasha's, it says, having the peaceful clerics even considered that they're subverting most holy systems, one where bad decisions coincide with the teaching power of pain. That's
interesting. Consider they're a peace cleric.
So, yeah, it's interesting. So at first level, they get the thing called Emboldening Bond,
which I do have.
Which Unity clerics also do, but they get Emboldening Bond. Essentially, what happens is that you can choose a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. So obviously, as you level up, you get more creatures you can choose, and you can create a tether with everyone, so everyone's together. And as long as everyone is within 30 feet of this tether, so everyone's within 30 feet, whenever they make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, they can roll a free d4 and add that to their total. And it lasts for 10 minutes. Not bad. It's not bad. Yours lasts for an hour, which is the difference.
Yeah.
But yours is limited to only 2 people. You can choose yourself and someone else, or you can choose 2 other people.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Yours gets some really kind of OP abilities if it was tethered to other individuals. So I'm happy we're limiting it. Each cleric gets a channel divinity. They can use this channel divinity to do 2 things. Either A, turn undead, meaning that if there are zombies or ghouls or skeletons coming your way, you can present your holy symbol. The creature's gonna turn ass and run.
Turn ass. There we go again.
Or if you level up, you can do, I think it's called like Destroy Undead. Instead of turning ass, they just turn into dust. The second option, because I mentioned there's 2 ways you can use it, is you can use your subclass ability, which the Cleric of Peace gets the Balm of Peace.
You notice how it doesn't sound peaceful?
Balm, B-A-L-M.
No, I know.
Balm of Peace. So what happens is that without provoking opportunity, when you move within 5 feet of any other creature, you can restore. Oh, so you move immediately. As you use this, you can move your full movement without getting a attack of opportunity. Free movement. Kenzie, thank you so much for the bit. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Every little bit helps, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. So you can move. Move out. And then any creature you can see, you can move within 5. Oh, so anyone you're within 5 feet, you can then restore them some free health. So you're not using any spell slots. You just move up to someone and heal. Oh my God, Kinsey with all the bits. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Thank you so much.
More.
No, but more bits. At 6th level.
She's making it rain bits.
At 6th level, you get Protective Bond. So what does this mean? The bond you forge between people helps them protect each other. When a creature affected by your Bolding Bond, meaning the creatures, you can do as many as you wish. Let's see here, is about to take damage. A second bond creature within 30 feet of the first can use its reaction to teleport. So essentially you can get out of danger. Pretty good. Expansive Bond. You get this at 17th level. That's pretty high for a cleric now.
Yeah.
The effects of your Bolding Bond and Protective Bond, so everything's working together now. So
all the bonds.
All the bonds. If they're now within, it now works instead of 30 feet, you work within 60 feet. Extends that a bit.
I think, well, I mean, I do have access to a spell that's just not like an ability that she has. Because I have Emboldening Bond, I have Warding Bond.
Warding Bond is a spell.
And then I have Shared Burden.
So what I was going to say is the difference between, and by the way, the last effect that you get at 17th level is that you get resistance to damage. The effect that you get, which I think is pretty crazy. Can you see players' distance? When you're fighting, you can. Each square is 5 foot. So you can see how far someone is. If you're using like a program like we are, when we use Astral, there definitely is like a ruler. So you can see if someone's within 60 feet of you.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Your ability, since you are still part of the Unearthed Arcana, it is still limited to 2 people.
Yeah.
But now, I think what could happen is that if someone goes down, like 0 HP, your bonded partner has to then run to you, and if you can touch them, they get back up. So it's pretty useful.
Yeah. I think we have to read more on that, given that the session is in not tomorrow, but the next day.
Well, you don't have that's like level 17th ability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is a very high level ability. That once you've used it, boom. Thea, will you be my bonded partner? Get us stay within 30 feet of each other.
Yeah, they do have to be willing. That's another thing. So like, I mean, in the game, it's really weird. I literally say, I hope you're willing out loud, because they have to let the effect take place. Because if they don't, then it doesn't work.
The way I play it, especially since it's coming from Vera, who is very much an emotional individual, is that an extra flavor I had is that you start to share emotions.
Well, I think you do.
It doesn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, that's something I added as flavor, is that when you share this bond with Rolly, our barbarian, whenever he rages, it's going to slightly affect your hair color since you're an Eldrin.
Yeah.
So you start to have a bit of a red streak going on if you weren't mad already. Or if you create the Bolding Bond and you guys are curious, if let's say you do it on Savannah, our rogue character,
I did do it to her last game.
And she is sort of not frustrated, but kind of like excited that she opened a gate and you're still bonded. You'll have a streak of gold.
If you're not already that color.
If you're not already that color. So that's all flavor. It's all Flavor Town. But yes, I think I've talked myself hoarse now.
I gotta save that for Saturday.
Save it for Saturday. We're gonna have a special guest.
Oh yeah, we are gonna have a special guest.
I can announce it because it's totally fine.
He's our DM.
Yeah. If anyone from the Newick Plays era remembers Nick from Game Crate,
we got him to be on camera.
He's gonna be on camera. He is our DM. He's the one who we started with D&D with, and so he was really excited to be in our own campaign. He's going to be a guest character. We may have him on for a session or two. It sort of depends how the story goes. He's made his own character. He has his own backstory. Excited to see what happens.
I've never seen him play I've seen him play characters, obviously, but not like, he has to play like 5, if not more, in like one go of a session. So it's just like, I want to see what he does just as a player.
And it also was a way for me to go, because I understand the idea now that there's a term called the forever DM.
Yeah.
Where it means you're always DMing. You're never a player. And as far as I'm aware, he's always been DMing our games. And so, you know what, dude? I'm now becoming a little more competent in
oh, you are
in DMing. So why don't you be a player? So he was really excited. I'm really excited to see what he does. So yeah, catch us this Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Session 8, Magic and Mustard.
Yeah, we're at the campaign is called Magic at Mostad. Mostad is the area that they're playing in. We have our characters who are now level 4. They're now level 4. I'm really excited to see what happens, because now it's gonna
follow our Instagram.
Yes, please follow our Instagram.
Follow all our things. Mike's gonna actually put actual terms. I just say follow our Instagram because I think that's our Instagram and our Discord we're the most active on, and like we post the most, I guess, characters or things or events we're doing or stuff we're getting into in the eventual, future. Can't talk future. Like we're looking to collab with a dice maker.
Yes.
I've gotten no bites. I like a lot of people's work, so I always will give them a shout out like I did with Cozy Gamer Dice if I actually like their dice and bought them.
What I'd like to do,
if anybody knows anybody.
A little sneak peek of what my mind goes through is, obviously we have the Chatterbox, a magical item that the players have that whenever they open it, the chat can be read out to the actual players or the characters. So that way you guys influence the game a little bit. You can help them, hinder them, or just confuse them if you wish.
I think the most influential thing that thing did was Taco Bell. And then apparently Steve's character, who's Rolly, doesn't know female anatomy. So on a live stream, the man asked what a vagina was, and I was like, oh.
Anyways, what in my mind, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get you guys a little more involved. So,
yeah, that was you, Theo, I think.
What I'm thinking is that maybe exclusive to certain individuals who hit a tier. So maybe if they hit 6 months subscription, what I'd like to do is get maybe your voice recorded. I'll have a little video file or a little audio file, and I'll play it. You can say almost whatever you wish, and
almost, keyword almost.
what happens is maybe if they open the box randomly, your voice will play, and the characters as well as the stream can hear it. It's these little small ideas I'm thinking to get you guys a little more involved, which I think will be really fun, because watching a D&D game can be fun, but involving yourself in the D&D game is kind of more awesome. So that's something to look in the future, as well as the giveaway, which I'll have more details today.
Yeah. Or maybe if there's an item you guys would like to see that we could try out. Like right now we just have shirts and cups.
Shirts and a mug.
Eventually want to get dice. I'm probably going to have somebody else make the dice though, just because I've seen how much of a mess that is. I don't think I'm ready to go into that type of a manufacturing, so to speak.
But I'm excited to see what comes in the future, guys. I'm enjoying every bit of moment I am doing these streams. I am able to geek out. I am showing what my creativity can show, can actually do now, and
we get to interact with you guys.
Yeah.
You crazy lot that we love.
I am having a lot of fun. I can't, just reading to you guys and just sharing what I can create is something that I'm happy to do so, and I'm happy you guys are receptive. So we'll be live Saturday at 2 o'clock, and profanity. We can say shit, fuck, whatever we want. Yeah. So we'll see you guys Saturday. Thank you again for joining us. And
thank you for all the bits, the subscribers, all the shout outs.
Type exclamation point Discord or exclamation point Instagram to get our links, and we will have more details on those social channels.
I don't know if Dennis came back, but bye, Dennis. Somebody tell him we left.
Later, guys.
Bye.